completely different to the hawk, and falcons tend to have much longer, pointier wings than the hawks. Also, have a look at his legs, quite short and stumpy compared to the hawk also. Different body shape completely. And I'd like you to be aware that falcons, unlike the hawk, hunt from the sky, and they're predominantly avian bird catchers only. In the wild, Charlie's favourite food in Africa would be sand grouse. And the falcon hunting from the air uses his whole body like a missile. When he's hunting and falling from the sky, there'll be no flapping of wings. In a headlong dive, these two short stumpy legs also tucked under the plumage for streamlineness. The falcon, as he falls from the sky, uses only his tail, like a ship's rudder, to guide him towards the birds below. And as he encroaches those birds, he'll be going at speeds of around 200 miles per hour. At the very last moment, the falcon brings out from the undercarriage his two short stumpy legs, both fists clenched like a boxer. The falcon is delivering a very accurate, high impact blow to the back of the other bird's head at high speed, and this is how falcons hunt. When I go hunting with Charlie on the open moorland, as we flush game birds underneath, as he falls from the sky, if he gets a direct headshot, I normally hear a loud whack, and I'll see one of the game birds spiral out the sky down to the floor. Charlie, after his impact blow, pulls away, shoots into the sky to lose his speed, and turns over and lands on his prize game. When I pick him up with the game, I can normally see that the skull of the other bird is completely flattened. So taking out the central nervous system in one quick accurate blow is the trait of how a falcon hunts. Okay, I'm hoping you all get the idea. Okay, the next biggest question before we get him in the air. Andy, why is Charlie wearing a leather crash helmet? It's called a hood, and it's the most important tool a falconer has at his disposal. It was designed by our ancestors hundreds of years ago to help them travel the falcons and hawks from the villages to the hunting ground. And as they travelled by horseback, it was just designed to stop the birds getting any form of stress. But even though I go into travel in a modern vehicle today, Charlie and the hawks do not understand modern glass. If we travel to the open moor without wearing the hood, if pigeons flew past the vehicle, Charlie may think that the hunt was on, and he'd be breaking his feathers up against the inside of the glass and getting himself in a bit of a frustrated state. So the hood is just to keep the hawks and falcons calm while we travel, and to also keep Charlie in pristine feather condition, the same as a wild falcon, and he has to be if I expect him to catch wild game. Okay, that's the purpose of the hood. Let's get Charlie in the air. Now I'm using in my bag today small pieces of meat. And Charlie's eyesight adjusts almost immediately when I take the hood off. I'm hoping for Charlie to be catching these small pieces of meat as he comes in and out of the display. And that's what he thinks of the show so far. Now, as I talk to you about falcons, I'm hoping to use those small amounts of food for Charlie to catch as he comes right over the audience. But I'd like you all to be aware, I'll be using those to throw in the air over the top of you, hoping for you all to get a good shot of Charlie as he comes over the top. Now, I'd like you to be aware, everyone, if Charlie does manage to come over the top of you, it's probably not a good idea to do this. Charlie does sometimes drop them. Now, Charlie, coming from the African continent, his favourite food is sand grouse. And how he would go about hunting, he has a rather large, what they call wing loading, lots of space of feather for the weight of the bird. This enables Charlie in Africa to find such things as a thermal. When Charlie finds a thermal, which is a circling column of air, he can quite easily rise right to the top of the thermal with actually expending no energy energy whatsoever. And it's a bit like us taking an elevator to the top of a large building. Once Charlie is high in the sky, using no energy, he can glide around at 1,000 feet. With his eyesight, he can see for miles, anywhere where there might be sand grouse at a waterhole or feeding. And as he glides over the top, he's now in an excellent position to hopefully catch or hunt one a sand grouse. From there, he folds up using his whole body like a missile, just as we spoke before. And as Charlie comes down, he's hoping to deliver that accurate high impact blow and catch himself some breakfast or lunch. And when we go hunting with the falcons, we do that in the afternoon. We've flown the hawks through the woods there, and as we load the falcons into the vehicle wearing their special leather hoods, we use a wooden frame called a cadge, rectangular in shape. With short legs, I can load up to 8 hunting falcons on the cadge, and it's placed into the vehicle. We also take along our favourite of hunting dogs, the English pointer. When we arrive at the moor, the frame is taken from the vehicle. I can stand inside the frame, and around my waist now, with 2 short braces, I can quite easily walk the moor with up to 8 hunting falcons around my waist. The dog is released, and the dog, the English pointer, is then working into the Scottish heather with his fantastic nose to smell game birds. He also works into the wind, and as he moves forward, as he moves forward, he does quarter left. He does quarter left and he does quarter right. When Charlie manages to smell game in the heather, he goes on a special point, like a statue, just like this. And the dog will stay like that for up to an hour or more. I know, because I've lost him behind a hill before. As soon as I see the dog take a point, I put the frame on the floor, pick off the first falcon to hunt, undo his hood braces, and show the falcon that the dog has game marked ready to hunt. This is when Charlie leaves the fist and he starts to fly around myself and the dog in a circle, but also up into the sky like a corkscrew. Charlie is now trying to get to his proper hunting pitch. As Charlie takes his flight to the sky, I do not want to disturb the game in front of the dog, so I walk round in a very large half semicircle. As I walk round the moor, I watch Charlie getting higher and higher and higher in the sky, and I'm hoping to come right round and be hopefully stood in front of that dog by about 100 yards, with the wind coming from my back but going towards that dog's nose. The game bird should now be somewhere in the middle. I then wait for the falcon to give me the signal of when to flush the game, because in this game it's the falcon that's the boss and the human being is the servant on the floor. When Charlie's ready for his flush and he's at his proper hunting pitch, he will stop flapping his wings and raising his height in the sky. He will fix his wings like a glider, and that is the boss's signal to the servant on the floor. Flush my game for me now, falconer. I'm ready. As I wait for this command, as soon as I see his signal, I start moving towards the dog, where should be the game birds in the heather in between. The red grouse do live in groups we call coveys of 6 to 12. I don't know where they are, but at some point I may get too close to them. As I get too close to them, the grouse usually flush out the heather at my feet, and I shout to Charlie, "Hey!" On the moor, this does mean your dinner is served, sir. And that is my job. The human is to serve the game for the falcon. Once I've done this, myself and the dog, our jobs are done. We can only watch the falcon fall from the sky as those grouse go speeding down the heather at 60 and 70 miles per hour. The falcon is falling from the sky, in that missile shape, guiding himself by his tail only. And as he gets closer and closer to those grouse, he's also getting faster and faster. You probably would all think it's a foregone conclusion. I'd like you all to know exactly what I've seen on the moor. Well, I've been up there with the falcons and the dogs. I've seen the grouse flying down the moor after the flush. I've seen the falcon coming from the sky at high speed, and just as he's about to deliver the high impact blow, if I was a grouse in slow motion, I've seen the grouse do a barrel roll in the air. The falcon shoots straight past at 200 miles an hour. We've missed a headshot by this much, and all the grouse go laughing and cackling at us as we go back into the heather. I've also seen the grouse. Where's he gone, Charlie? I've also seen the grouse do other tricks on the moor. I've seen the grouse flying down the moor. At the very last moment, Charlie's about to strike again. I've seen them pull up their wing feathers, drop down a notch in the sky, and the falcon go whizzing just over the top, and we've missed again. I've seen them pulling in the tail feathers like a fan, jump up a notch, and the falcon go whizzing underneath, and we've missed again. Well, I'd like you all to be aware, we only managed to catch about 1 in every 10 goes with the falcon. I tell this to people, they say, Andy, why would you bother? But I'd like you to know, unlike the hawk, it's not about putting lots of game in the bag with a little falcon like Charlie. It's about watching him from falling from the skies at super high speeds, great accuracy with these impact blows, and pitted against a game bird that's so clever and wily that only every now and then can we manage to bring one to book. But when Charlie gets a direct headshot at 200 miles per hour, I'll often hear a very loud ring out across the moor. See one of the game birds fall stone dead into the heather as Charlie pulls away from the earth and lands on his prized grouse. Now, it's usually on a cold winter's day on the moor when we're hunting, and this is when the dog and I have been watching the unfolding drama. And as Charlie lands with his grouse in the heather, the dog normally turns to me and he looks me directly in the eyes. He normally then starts licking his chops, because he knows he's going to get a nice warm bit of offal from the grouse carcass we've just taken. That dog now runs to where the little falcon is in the heather, maybe a kilometre away, and he lies down patient waiting for me to arrive and dish out the offal next to the falcon. But by the dog doing this, he's now providing me with a free bodyguard on the moor for that little falcon. He's protecting him from any wild golden eagles, any foxes that might be lurking in the heather, or any other predators that might want to bring him harm. And lots of people ask me at the display, Andy, what are these red grouse things? What do they look like? Okay everyone, while you're on holiday here in Scotland, you must be going for at least one nice meal somewhere. When you order your meal, why don't you ask the local barman to get down from the shelf for you the famous grouse whiskey bottle. On that whiskey bottle is depicted a lovely picture of exactly what a red grouse looks like. And if you drink that bottle like I do, you should see many, many more. Okay, I'm going to bring Charlie into what we call the lure. When we've been hunting and we do not catch a grouse, I use this piece of leather with some meat tied to it to hopefully get Charlie back to us. So let's see if we can get him in.
You're going to spin, and you're going to spin.
Charlie!
He's spinning it, and then it's like he swoops down to him.
Charlie! Excellent, we have the falcon back. Okay everyone, shortly I'm going to go down to the ropes here with Charlie. If anybody would like to ask us any questions about falconry or what you've seen in the display, I'll be there for you. My partner Florence speaks German and French if anyone would like that. She's also a fountain of knowledge on owls. And we do have a small donation box on the side here. If anyone would like to help us with veterinary fees, we'd be most grateful. But we'd like to say to everyone, thank you for coming to our falconry display. We really do hope that you did enjoy the birds and the information. But more than that everyone, we hope you have a fantastic holiday here in Scotland. That is the end of this morning's display.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll we'll see you down the bottom if you want to come, everyone.